All right. We have the Swampy Sooners podcast. We have Dylan Marsh and we got JD Marsh here, the two Swampy brothers. Week one of college football is in the books, which which makes me a little bit more excited because we actually have NFL coming up this
Yes.
weekend as well. So I'm freaking ecstatic about that. But JD, we had a good weekend. We really did. We
That was one of the best weekends of opening weekends of college football that I can remember in my lifetime. Really, that was one hell of a weekend. You had first off Thursday night, you had the backyard brawl that brought everything and more to it than
yep.
everybody was expecting. The Purdue Penn State game really just took the night away after that. And then you had LSU Florida State on Sunday night. What a wild finish that was.
Mm-hmm.
And then Clemson struggling, but really just putting it away at the very end, capping off the weekend. Several great games in between. I just had a blast sitting down watching all of it.
Yep.
Couldn't have asked for a better weekend to start the year.
Yeah, it was really cool. And for us, we actually got to meet up in Dallas and watch
Yep.
all this stuff together. We got to watch LSU completely just break the hearts of Louisiana inside the world's biggest casino, right?
Yep.
And eat some IHOP. So that was pretty cool.
Also got to
Great weekend.
see I-WA with no O in sight get me the victory over you with the sweet blue corn. It's the fancy corn whiskey, Dylan. Thank you for that bet.
Yeah.
Shout out to Balcones. Free ad. I don't care.
Yep. No, hey, that's cool. That was that's some badass whiskey, dude. That's
It
good
is.
stuff. It makes one hell of an old fashioned tip for you guys there. But yeah, well, let's start with that. What the hell?
I tried to tell you. I tried to tell you, Dylan.
JD. I'm not surprised they covered. What I'm saying, what the hell to? 7 points, no touchdowns, 7-3.
Mhm.
What and why? And why was that my favorite game of the week? I have no idea.
Because it's what CBS is looking forward to going away from the
I
SEC.
lost, and I loved it.
Yeah, it was awesome to watch,
Yeah.
honestly. And I didn't think it was going to go down like that. I thought that it would have been like 20-17 Iowa victory. I did not expect a 7-3 with no offensive touchdowns victory.
Yeah, no, that was crazy. Shout out to Jack Rabbit getting JD some whiskey. I'm not even mad. We were at the liquor store getting it, and I thought you were going to choose something like 80, 90 bucks, something like that. And you go, and all I hear is Dylan Balcones. And so shout out to probably the best Oklahoma sports podcast out there, the Oklahoma Breakdown. That's an awesome show. If you don't listen to it, you need to, and that's one of their sponsors. But cool, man. Well, JD, let's before we get into this week, but I do want to talk about Oklahoma as well. But what stood out to you? What like the first game in the Brent Venables era, right? What stood out to you the most this game?
And it's the thing I was most excited about with the hire of Brent Venables. It is the pursuit and the tackling of defense. I don't think I saw one play where there wasn't at least, and I mean at least, 3 Sooners putting their head on to make the tackle, putting their head in there to make tackle. And Reggie Grimes had one hell of a day with was it 2.5 or 3 sacks, Dylan? I can't remember.
2.5.
My boy Jaron Knack got in there, got himself a sack. Ethan Downs had a hell of a day. Danny Stutzman. What's his name? Gentry Williams. Tulsa kid.
Had the
918 had an interception at the end. It just showed me the thing that I love most about it is they didn't show anything out of base coverage on either side of the ball, and you could just tell that this team is different. It is more passionate. It's willing to hit you in the mouth and not back down if it gets hit in the mouth. And I'm just ready to see what the exotic blitzes Brent could come up with. It seemed like Levy was calling the same 5 to 6 plays all afternoon. I'm ready to see what he can dial up as well. We saw the reverse to Gavin Freeman. Man, that kid can fly. I'm ready to see what Gavin Sawchuk can do. I love the blocking by Braden Willis. 4 pancake blocks. Go ahead and put them in there for the Remington. But I love the patience Dylan Gabriel played with as well. I see big things coming this year. Possible dark horse playoff just from what I saw. If they can continue to grow as a team and really execute on everything they do, because Venable says everything matters, I can really see them becoming a very dangerous team later on in the year.
For sure. Yeah, let's not leave anything for Dylan to go over. Just nailing everything on the head.
Sorry, I got way too excited with that.
But no, again, it's something to get excited about. But before I move on, I do have to point something out I just noticed. If you guys haven't noticed, I don't have a beard anymore. Trimming mishap, right? This is the first time I'm actually looking at myself.
The boy lost a bet, then he lost his beard.
JD, this is something my wife pointed out to me, and I believe it now. I look like the human Shrek. So there's that. But yeah, that's what it is.
I can't unsee it now.
Hey, he's a good-looking cat, though. That's what I would say. He was gonna marry a princess, so hey, I did. So I guess that's good enough. But yeah, the biggest thing I remember telling you at the Buffalo Wild. How did we find the only Buffalo Wild Wings that had all Oklahoma fans in there in Dallas, that Dallas area? We just randomly showed up there, which was awesome up there in North Dallas. But the gang tackling, what you're saying was, you're saying at least 3 Sooners were showing up. But there were multiple times where 5 or 6 people just laying their helmets into one another to get down that ball carrier, which absolutely excited the hell out of me for that. And I 100% saw it coming, and I see it coming again this week, but being completely vanilla offensively and even kind of defensively, because you don't want to give anything away going into the game next weekend in Lincoln, just because Nebraska sucks, but everyone's going to give Oklahoma their best, right? You don't want to give everything away. So I think just seeing the pure talent we have with that vanilla scheme is very exciting, because they know what they have, and they're going to know what they have, especially after a game against Kent State. I'm really excited to see how that goes.
Offense as well. They run an offense just like Oklahoma does, so that's going to give us another test. I'm ready to see what Justin Harrington looks like in the cheetah role, on the fact that with it being a spread offense, going to go 5 wide a lot of the times. He's going to be the coverage cheetah position. So I'm really wondering what that's going to look like. I'm sure it'll be great. But I'm also interested to see if Kent State actually tries to slow their tempo down to keep Oklahoma's offense off the field.
Yeah.
We'll see on Saturday.
But one thing I'm excited about is something we haven't been excited about for however long Lincoln was here. Teams were able to do that and keep getting first downs, but our team's going to be able to slow the tempo down and keep getting first downs against his defense, which from what I saw, it's not going to happen. So I'm really looking forward to that. But cool, Jay. Well, let's just get into it. I'm surprised. Usually you update me off air what the totals were, and with that face, I think it's a really good. Is it good for me on my end? How did we do last week?
Well, we'll start out with the spread picks.
Well, of course we will.
You went a grand 2-9 against the spread, Dylan, last
week. Baby.
And I went 7-4.
Oh, look at you go. That's the ones that don't matter to me.
And
That doesn't matter to
money
me.
line picks, you went 7-4. And where's my clown face? Because I went a stellar 3-8.
Oh, Jesus. That's even worse. Dude, that's worse than spread.
Mm.
The spread, you have a bigger chance of winning.
Utah
So,
killed me.
hey, man.
Purdue, West Virginia, Illinois,
Love
Boston
it.
College, App State,
Good start for the good start.
LSU.
Talking all
Man,
that
they
crap. What's
all
happening?
killed me. They all killed me. But we're back at it this week. We're coming at it with a great record. I'm feeling it in my soul.
Yep.
So, first game we have on the slate this week. We have the Louisville Cardinal traveling to Orlando to take on the University of Central Florida Knights. Who you got, Dylan?
Okay, let's see here. I'm actually getting them pulled up here. So this one I am for a while. I'm going to be taking home teams, but I am going to be taking the Knights here because I was, well, of course, you got to believe in Josh Heupel, right? That dude's he's a hell of a ball coach. Not Heupel, no, he's at Tennessee now. What's his name? Malzahn. I still believe in Malzahn. He was kind of I consider him being like Jimbo Fisher. It's funny that they both met in that national championship. I think they're both coaches that will succeed at smaller schools without expectations, and I think Malzahn's going to do that at UCF. I'm going to take the Knights in this one.
Good call. I'm taking UCF as well. When you go and get just absolutely bitch slapped around by Syracuse, there's a problem in my book. So I was completely wrong on Louisville. I thought they were going to be a bowl team, but the way they got smacked around by Syracuse completely changed my mind. I still think Malik Cunningham has potential to get drafted and have a pretty decent career in the NFL, but this year I don't see it. So give me the Knights there. I think they're favored by 6.5 right now. So I think they even cover that heavily. So give me UCF. All right. The next game we have is we're going to the Southeastern Conference, Dylan, with the South Carolina Gamecocks are on the road in Fayetteville, Arkansas to take on the 16th ranked Arkansas Razorbacks.
Yeah, and this is going to be an interesting matchup. I think this is going to be really, really interesting matchup. And for the sole fact, I think, the talent level, I think, is probably around even, maybe Arkansas a little bit higher. What I'm excited about is the coaching duel that this is going to create, right?
Oh, yeah.
Shane Beamer is one hell of a football coach, and he is a player's coach, and that is 100% a fact. But then Sam Pittman the exact same way, but Sam Pittman is that. Let's think about it this way. Like I picture him kind of as a Dan Campbell, like a dirt, if you ain't got dirt in your toenails, or in your fingernails, like if you're wearing gloves, stuff like that, and I don't know. I have Arkansas in this one. Let's say that, but I'm going to say this is going to be oh my gosh, Spencer Rattler's coming out game if he's ever going to have one. Because he's going to show if he's going to be able to do something in the SEC. And if he's going to be able to do it against Arkansas, like the lower tier, up and coming SEC team, then I think he's going to have a great season. But I think it all goes down to if Rattler's going to be able to face this SEC defense this week, especially on the road.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, Dylan. I think Arkansas is a little more talented than South Carolina, but my rule is basically when you get the middle of better middle of the road teams in the Power 5 conferences, I generally just go with the home team because of the traveling aspect with the visiting team. So I'm calling a 31-24-27 victory for Arkansas.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. Spencer Rattler, he kind of struggled his last game. It could be just pregame jitters. He's still honestly a pretty young guy. But then playing at a stadium, like South Carolina's with their fans and all that and all the expectations on him. We'll see if he settles in.
Yep.
But I think Arkansas wins outright.
All right. Next game we have the Missouri Tigers going to Apple to take on the Kansas State Wildcats, Dylan.
I think this is going to be an ass whooping, like a absolute ass whooping. I think I'm
Want to make
taking the
side bet on that?
Wildcats. Huh?
Want to make side bet on that?
Slap bet? Yeah, sure. Well, actually, wait till I grow my beard back out. Give me some cushion. But I'm going to take Deuce Vaughn having a huge game this week, and I think I'm going to say Kansas State wins by at least 14 points.
That's where I was going to make the side bet because I do have the Kansas State winning this game because they are at home.
Don't be turning this into a spread pick, JD.
I'm not, but Missouri. The reason why I think it's actually going to be a lot closer than people think is Luther Burton is the real deal. I watched him Thursday night play against Louisiana Tech. That guy, he would have been dangerous at Oklahoma if he would have stayed committed to that. But he had to have gotten 20 to 30% of the total offense produced. Yep. He's going to be an animal for a long time. For the next 3 years at Missouri, I think he's going to make a lot of plays on this Kansas State defense and keep it close. But I think Kansas State does pull it out.
So you're putting all the hopes for Missouri onto a receiver?
He runs Wildcat quarterback too.
We'll see how that goes. Hasn't worked since McFadden and Felix Jones.
All right, next game we have is the 24th ranked Tennessee Volunteers are to Heinz Field to take on the 17th ranked Pitt Panthers. Dylan,
this is my favorite game of the week. This is good. This honestly is.
This is my
favorite game of the week.
Second favorite game of the week.
This is going to be a heck of a football game, and this is going to be the Tennessee test of really showing what they can be. Right? I think Slovis really impressing. He looked pretty impressive against West Virginia, but one person I think you're going to need to keep an eye on. What's his last name? I forgot his first name, but his last name is Wright, the running back for Tennessee. That dude, I think, might possibly have a huge game against Pittsburgh, and I think that's going to be the difference. Give me Rocky Top.
Oh, so you're taking Tennessee, huh?
I'm taking Tennessee.
All righty. I've been going back and forth on this game. Everybody seems to be going with Tennessee. Everybody.
Mm-hmm. SEC bias, baby. I'm part of it.
I just can't get the image of what Pitt was able to do to Tennessee in Knoxville last year. Give me the Pitt Panthers. I'm taking them at home.
Okay.
So, next game.
I can see that.
Next game we have is the 25th ranked Houston Cougars are on the road at Lubbock, Texas to take on the Texas Tech Red Raiders.
I'll
go first if you want me
to. Yeah, go first because I was honestly still kind of 50-50 on this one.
Give me the Red Raiders. I think that Texas Tech's going to put on one heck of a home field advantage. And Houston, they struggled with a very, very good UTSA team. And I think that Texas Tech is a little more talented than UTSA. So I'm going with the Red Raiders at home. Joey McGuire's got that program on the right track. So Give me the Red Raiders.
Yeah, that's a good point. And as I've said since that hire, I'm a big Joey McGuire fan. I think that was a great hire for the Red Raiders. Winning 63-10, that can do something to your confidence. And Texas Tech's on a high from that, and they're at home. But it can also be a nice, little high winning a 3 overtime game against a pretty good UTSA team, right?
Yeah.
trying to think if I should play this strategically or kind of how I feel. Because strategically would just be, hey, go with you, right? Just in case they lose. But give me
Make it a little interesting, Dylan. Come on.
give me the Cougars.
All
I'm gonna take
right.
I'm gonna take
All
the Cougars in
right.
this one. I know Texas Tech, like you said, they have a little bit more athletes on the team. I'm terrible at pronouncing last names, but was it like Fuoinji or something like that? Dude had a hell of a game. He had 2 touchdowns, 110 yards last week. But I really like Houston, and honestly, I don't know why Daniel Holgerson hasn't ever done anything for me to believe in him, but I like him.
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, so I'm going to go with the University of Holgerson there.
All right. The next one, shout out Barstool Sportsbook. Y'all are going to be at this game for their pregame show. You got the Iowa State Cyclones traveling to take on their hated rivals in the Iowa Hawkeyes, Dylan.
I was hoping to look forward to this game, man, but just for the sole fact of how Iowa played last week, and their defense was okay. They held them to 3 points, right? But their offense was so bad, JD, so bad that there's not even there wasn't even a sliver of me taking the Hawkeyes. I'm going to take the Cyclones there. I hope they win because that would, really help, the Big 12 whenever Oklahoma blows through them all, right?
Yep.
But I will say I think Deckers is a really, really good quarterback for Iowa State. So if I don't think Iowa's offense is going to be able to do anything. So as long as they can put up 14, 20 points, Iowa State should be fine.
Well, you can pick them until they actually beat Iowa. Give me the Hawkeyes. Part of me thinks that the reason why that game against South Dakota State was so close was they were base offense, base defense the whole game, weren't showing anything to give it away. So give me the Hawkeyes. I think they end up covering this in Kinnick. So I'll take the Hawkeyes. The next game we have is the Virginia Cavaliers are on the road in Champaign to take on the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Well, I've always liked the Illini. For some reason, I loved them whenever they're like 2003 or 4, whatever year it was when they played basketball. Virginia has never been anything, but I will say I think Illinois. I think what's his last name? DeVito. DeVito, I think, is going to be the main difference. Give me the Fighting Illini.
Illinois got screwed on I think it was onside kick call by the refs last week against Indiana. They should have never been in that position. They were the way better team. I think Brent Bielema is going to come out with a pissed off Illinois team, and I think with Virginia having to travel to Illinois, I just see Illinois taking care of business at home. So give me the Fighting Illini as well.
Annihilate them fools.
Mm-hmm. The next game is actually my game of the week that I am really excited about. We have the 20th ranked Kentucky Wildcats are on the road to Gainesville to take on the 12th ranked Florida Gators from unranked. My God.
Yep. Well, that's what happens when you beat the number 7 team in the country, right? And in that fashion. Hey, I will say it.
Beat. Florida should have gotten beat.
They should have, but they didn't, which shows something, right? I don't know if 12 is a little high.
I could put money on it. I really believe that if Utah would have decided to kick the field goal instead of going for the win, I love the call by Kyle Whittingham. Love the call. Go for the win. I think if Utah kicks the field goal, brings it to overtime, they probably win that game.
Yeah.
I really believe that.
And again, it was a great football game, right? But, Richardson showed that he is a great football player. I don't think he's going to keep that same caliber of play the rest of the season. So he's definitely not going to be anyone I would pick to win the Heisman. But I'm assuming they're the underdogs. I'm taking the number 20 Kentucky Wildcats to go into the swamp. I think Will Levis is going to have his breakout game. You know, he had 300 yards last week, 3 touchdowns, but this is going to be a game where he can go out and prove himself because I think he has been getting a lot of hate because he's one of the top prospects already for the NFL this coming year, all because he's at Kentucky. Let's see what Will Levis is, you know, made of, and this is going to show it for sure. So I'm going to take Kentucky there, and because I absolutely love their uniforms.
Okay.
If
this game would have been if this game was in Lexington, I would be more inclined to take Kentucky. But with it being in Gainesville, and the fact that Kentucky is probably going to be without their starting running back, Chris Rodriguez, I got the Florida Gators. Anthony Richardson, unlike you, I honestly believe that he could turn this into a Heisman campaign season, especially if they go into Jacksonville and somehow knock off Georgia, which I don't think they have any shot at. But say they do, why not Anthony Richardson win the Heisman? But I think
that would deserve it. But like I'm saying, I don't think he's going to keep it up.
I think that Florida is for real this year. I think they're a lot better. Billy Napier with everyone wears the matching socks, has the completely changing the culture around, just like Brent Venables is at Oklahoma. So, but I think Florida ends up winning the game by 7 to 10 points. So give me the Gators.
All
right. The next game we have, you ready, Dylan?
Yep.
The 10th ranked USC Trojans are on the road to take on the Stanford Cardinal.
10th
ranked USC Trojans after beating Food in Rice.
Well, you know, I hate to say it, but I know Stanford, looking at the stats here, it looks like their stats, like their athletes have, you know, they did better last game or whatever, all that stuff. You know, McKee over 300 yards, 2 touchdowns, have a 100-yard rushing performance out of VJ Smith there. But, dude, I'm just going to have to go with, like, the pure talent. And I think this is going to be what the Pac-12 used to be, right? Or maybe still is, which are these 35 to 40 games. And I see that happening, but I think USC has too much offensive talent. Because I will say, Lincoln Riley, never liked him, but I still like Caleb Williams because he is a ball player. And I did see Ridley Brown. That dude is crazy fast. I'm going to take the athletes on this one, but I'll take USC.
I thought Ridley Brown doesn't come till 23, Dylan.
He was there.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he's a 23 class, but I am taking the Cardinal. I think that they're going to be able to get pressure on Caleb Williams. I think they're going to be able to bully USC's defensive line around because they had some of the worst trench play in all the Pac-12 last year. And it's very hard to get the chemistry going with that. And when you have a David Shaw coached team on the other side who plays sound, fundamental trench play, that's going to be the difference. So give me the Cardinal in the upset.
Yep. Okay. I hope that happens. I really do. But just to fact check your fact check, Ridley Brown had 6 carries for 36 yards in their last game.
Okay. Well, I'm sorry, folks. Yep. I really thought he was part of the 23.
One thing I'm shocked about just looking at this is that Oregon transferred Travis Dye was like, he's not getting any action. Dude only had 5 carries compared to Williams, Austin Jones, and Ridley Brown each had around 6. It's like, hey,
I don't
know. I was just shocked by that. So I thought because he ran all over our ass in that bowl game.
Yeah, the next game we have the Arizona State Sun Devils are on the road.
Oh yeah,
to Stillwater to take on the 11th ranked Oklahoma State Cowboys. Dylan,
you know what? You take this one. You go with this one first.
I think that there's too much turmoil at Arizona State with the all the stuff that's going on with Herm Edwards and everything.
What's happening?
I think they'll score a lot of points, but I think Oklahoma, just like how they gave up, 44 to Central Michigan? Like I said, losing their defensive coordinator, I think they're going to take a huge step back defensively. So give me the Cowboys winning 55-49.
What turmoil are you talking
Oh,
about?
they got caught bringing recruits on campus during COVID and everything like that. All the sanctions
Oh,
they're getting. Yeah.
geez. You said turmoil. I thought it was like another like money in a McDonald's bag, like
Nah.
Tennessee or whatever's happening. Okay. Well, so I'm taking the Cowboys on this
Okay.
one. I think Spencer Sanders is going to have a hell of a season. And I say that in the same fact of I'm not sure the Cowboys are going to have a great season, but Spencer Sanders is because this dude has come into his own. And I think, the way he's playing, he's an experienced quarterback now. So I'm going to take Oklahoma State, but I'm going to say in a shootout where each team scores at least 40 points.
Yeah, I said 55-49, so I think it's going to be shootout as well. All right. Next game we have on the docket, the Boston College Golden Eagles on the road and entering Sandman taking on the Virginia Tech Hokies, Dylan.
Give me the Eagles, baby.
So right there with you. I mean, even though Virginia Tech's got that awesome walkout song and it's at home, Boston College really should have beat Rutgers last week. Could not execute, and Boston College, or I just believe Boston College is a better team, and plus Virginia Tech having pretty much all the confidence drained out of them, in my opinion, with losing to Old Dominion on the road is going to play a huge factor. So give me the Golden Eagles as well.
Gotcha. I think Zay Flowers is going to be the big difference there at the receiver for Boston College.
All right, I'm really interested to hear your thoughts on this one. We have the 9th-ranked Baylor Bears are traveling to Provo, Utah to take on the 21-ranked BYU Cougars.
Baylor wins by 17, 21, something like that.
Really?
Give me the Bears. I think this is a game.
BYU is favored by Vegas, right?
I've never gambled. Hey, I say this. I think this is
Oklahoma legislation. Get it under control so my man can understand the lingo here.
No, I know what that means. I'm just saying, hey, I would put money on Baylor to win for like 100% because I think BYU. This is gonna be one of the games. BYU always looks good, and then they go up against a team that has a really, really good defense, and they kind of just buckle. I think Baylor is going to destroy them on the front lines, the front seven for sure. So I am going to take Baylor by at least 17 points.
I'll take Baylor, but by 10. I think it's going to be a lot closer game. BYU at home, which has a very underrated home field advantage. And I believe that they're a lot more talented than people think. So, especially along the trenches, I think they'll be able to match up pretty well with Baylor, but I think Baylor will have too much size and power for them in the second half, and they'll pull away. All right, next game. My surprise Pac-12 team, the Oregon State Beavers, are on the road to take on the Fresno State Bulldogs.
They look good. They looked good. But Fresno State, they're not no slump either. They're a heavy passing team, right? I think, this one was another 50-50 for me. And I'm still not exactly sure, but I'm going to trust your gut, and I'm going to take the Beavers on this. And Corvallis better not let me down, baby. Oregon State.
Well, it's at Fresno State.
Well, I'm saying Corvallis, the school, and Corvallis should not let me down.
Yeah, I'm taking Oregon State as well. I think that they're on a high after dominating Boise State the way they did, making Brockemeyer be pulled in I think it was the second quarter. He got pulled.
Second quarter.
But yeah, so give me the Beavers in that one. The last money line we have the Mississippi State Bulldogs traveling over to Tucson to take on the Arizona Wildcats, Dylan. Arizona
I will
State.
say
Arizona got a good win last week
they did. Yeah,
against San Diego State, which they were 6-point underdogs.
look at that underdogs, baby. You love it, right? You love it,
Mhm.
but you know who I love even more? I love Mike Leach. Love him. His humor is my humor, and I connect well with this guy. And Will Rogers could be a dark horse of possibly, you know, whatever quarterback award, whatever it's called for the quarterback award.
Davey
And that's not
O'Brien.
the Heisman. Davey O'Brien. I was thinking Maxwell, but yeah, he could be a dark horse for the Davey O'Brien because, I'm not trying to get my hopes up because this happened last year and the year before that, and every single Mike Leach team ever. But their quarterback always has a huge, like almost 500-yard, 5-touchdown game in like the first couple of weeks of the season, right? And that happened last week with Will Rogers, which I love that name because being from Tulsa, Will Rogers is a big deal. The name, not this quarterback, but he had 49 attempts, 450 yards, and 5 touchdowns last week. If they can keep that up, I think Mississippi State goes into Arizona and gets the dub.
Right on, right on. So that's the money line picks. I'm also taking Mississippi State as well. I think they're just way more talented than Arizona. So I like Will Rogers as well. All right. First money line pick, Dylan.
Oh,
We got
here we go.
the
Bounce back, baby.
Alabama
Don't call it a comeback.
number one Alabama Crimson Tide are a whopping 20-point favorite on the road in Austin to take on the Texas Longhorns.
This is going to be fun.
I will start this out, and I think Alabama has the line covered by the end of the first quarter. Give me the Crimson Tide 65-6.
Damn.
I think it's going to be way worse than Georgia beat Oregon. I think it's going to be an absolute bloodbath. I think Quinn Ewers is going to get hit so hard his mullet's going to fall off. I cannot wait to see Alabama just absolutely take Texas to the woodshed. I'm ready for it.
That's the thing. And one thing I'm really upset about is I made a like 12 or 12:30 appointment at a bank on this Saturday. And after I did that, I was like, because I wanted to watch every single second of this game because I'm interested in seeing, because you have all this talk with these Texas players, right? Or these Texas fans talking about how Texas is back now, baby, right? All these offensive line recruits, they're freshmen, but they're going to be great, right? But then they always seem to cower whenever they talk about Bama. But to see what this rushing attack is going to do, it is going to completely obliterate. Like I think it's going to be so bad, like you say. I don't know if it's going to be like 3 points, but Elon Musk might consider moving Tesla out of Austin this quick after this game. Like that's how bad this might be. He might move it to Tuscaloosa after seeing this. We'll see. But I'm going to take Bama to cover for sure, but I wouldn't be shocked if it's a 30, 35-point victory.
All righty. All right. The next one we have is the 23-ranked Wake Forest Demon Deacons are a 13-point favorite on the road in Nashville to take on the Vanderbilt Commodores.
Sam Hartman's back, dude.
Yep. That's why
Sam Hartman's back.
Give me Wake Forest.
Yep. I'm going to take Wake Forest as well, just because Sam Hartman's back, which is, I think that's a huge deal, even for Wake Forest. Like we were talking last episode about our conference champions. I think that puts Wake Forest in the conversation to possibly be in the championship for the ACC. We'll have to see. But I think that's a big deal. I'm going to take Wake Forest.
All right. The next one we have is the Marshall Thundering Herd are a 20.5-point underdog in South Bend to take on the 8th-ranked Notre Dame Fighting Irish.
As much as I hate them, I'm taking Notre Dame.
Same. Everybody remembers from last week when I said that I thought that Notre Dame was going to give Ohio State a game. I really did. I said the same thing about Oregon, Georgia, but my God, I was wrong on that one. But I really thought that Notre Dame would be able to play ball control against Ohio State. Notre Dame is more playoff picks before the
Mm-hmm.
preseason started, because I think that their only loss was going to be to Ohio State. And I think that they will come back and build off of what they were able to do against the Ohio State defense. Even though they scored only 10 points, they were moved the ball effectively in the first half. I think they'll build off of that and cover this spread easily, in my opinion.
Nice. I will say I didn't get to watch that game because I was actually, fun fact, JD, I heard this today on the radio here. I was at the North Texas SMU ass whooping that SMU put on the Mean Green. First, two things. First off, did you know North Texas, they're actually the North Texas Eagles?
Mean Green because of Joe Green.
That blew my mind. I knew he went there, but I didn't even connect it to that. But then the whole time I was watching North Texas and thought, this quarterback, like this dude, what is up with this guy? Like he's really not that good. All that. Then I find out that the dude's 30 years old today, and I was like, oh, okay, it makes a lot of sense now. Apparently, he didn't even go to. He wasn't in the military or anything like that. He just took like 4 years off of in between high school and college, and then just went to college and walked on. And I was like, okay, wow, okay, 30-year-old playing quarterback, getting his ass handed to him. You got to respect it. But all right, what's the next one?
We got the Appalachian State Mountaineers, who had a doozy of a game with North Carolina. Another great game from last week, traveling to College Station to take on the 6th ranked Texas A&M Aggies, who are an 18.5-point favorite. Dylan,
I'm taking Appalachian State to cover within 18.5. I think with how we saw that offense going last week, I know Texas A&M is going to be a lot better defensively, but I think Appalachian State's going to come in and put up a good fight because that's what Appalachian State always does on the road, and I have them covering 18.5.
You remember me telling you when in the off season, or in the preseason? There's no off season. In the preseason about Texas A&M this year, what did I say? You don't remember?
They have male cheerleaders
that wear milkman outfits. Yeah, that. But also, I think they're extremely talented on both sides of the ball. They don't have the quarterback play to take them to the next level. And that's why you saw them struggle against Sam Houston. Great FCS school, much respect, just like South Dakota State with Iowa. But you're Texas A&M, you have way more talent than Iowa. So that's why I think Appalachian State keeps this within 14.
Gotcha. Well, hey, next year they'll have the quarterback play with Malachi Nelson.
Or Connor Wegman. I've heard he's very good. All right, the next one we have is the Washington State Cougars are on the road in Madison, Wisconsin to take on the 19th ranked Wisconsin Badgers, who are a 17-point favorite. Dylan,
I'm going to take Washington. Oh my gosh, sorry, Washington State to cover within 17.
All right. You can take that. I'm actually going to take Wisconsin to win this game by 21. I think Cam Ward, he's a great quarterback, and they put up a lot of points last week. But this is a Jim Leonard coach defense. This is his first big test as a quarterback in the Power 5. So give me Wisconsin winning big, in my opinion. I think that they'll be able to run the ball all over Washington State, and that defense will be able to get to Cam Ward and get a lot of pressure on them. So give me the Badgers covering easily. The next one we have is the Kansas Jayhawks are on the road in Morgansport, West Virginia, to take on the Mountaineers. Morgantown. Yep. My bad.
There you go. Happens.
My bad, people. But to take on the West Virginia Mountaineers, who are a 13.5-point favorite, Dylan.
Yeah, no, West Virginia fans would be like one of the like 5 places that actually get pissed if you mispronounce their hometown. So dang, I want Kansas to cover, man. I really do, but I don't see it happening with 13.5. So I'm going to take West Virginia.
All right.
Just on the sole fact of how we saw them play against Pitt last year. I think the offense is going to be a little too much.
West Virginia. Oh, Kansas actually blew out somebody last week. I was surprised.
Lance Leopold effect, baby.
I think
Did you see? Hold on. Did you see how many fans that they had at their stadium?
Yeah. He's turning the culture around, man.
He's turning that culture around, baby. And I'm looking forward to it.
A win against Texas, and look what happens.
Oh, dude, once we go to the SEC, I'm buying me a Kansas hat. I'm gonna be walking around and being like, dude, this is my Big 12 team. This is it. The Kansas Jayhawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go West Virginia, but I think it's by 14-17. I think Kansas will actually put up a game with them. They've gotten a lot better since Lance Leipold has gotten there. Much respect to Kansas. But like you said, West Virginia, I just think they have too much firepower on offense for Kansas to keep it within 2 scores. And the last one we have, our beloved Oklahoma Sooners are a 33.5-point favorite at home to Kent State, and Oklahoma's ranked 7th in the nation, Dylan.
Oklahoma covers barely. I think they went about 34, 35 points there, but they covered at 33.5.
And I'm right there with you. I'm taking Oklahoma. Did you know what the spread was last week, Dylan, in the Oklahoma game?
It's like right at 35 or something.
It was 31.5 at kickoff. What did Oklahoma win by? 32. Vegas, I don't know how you do it. But you're always so close. I'm calling Oklahoma winning by 34, 35, somewhere around there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, here we go, guys. Week 2's coming up. We are going to see a bloodbath. We're going to see a couple really good games, like especially Tennessee Pitt. But then also keep an eye out for Kansas State this week. I think Kansas State's going to show up and show us who they might, possibly be. Arizona State, Oklahoma State. Hopefully USC gets their teeth kicked in by the trees, but we'll find out. JD,
they are.
Any last words?
Boomer Sooner, y'all. I'm so glad it's football season again. I can't wait for the remainder of the season. Can't wait for Saturday to see the Sooners again on the field and watch all the rest of these games. I'm ready to see what they do with the LED lights as well.
Yep. Anyway, it's going to be interesting. So other than that, we'll see you next week.
Peace.